Hello, wonderful world. Okay, this is video number 3 on what I'm calling Alchemy 101, which is an introduction to alchemy. And that's ALLchemy, which is, something new I've been working on over the last 20 years. So in today's video, I want to talk about 3 different things. I want to talk about what's the quantum field got to do with it. I want to talk about collaborative alchemy and how that works. And I want to talk about how alchemists are reshaping, remaking, reinventing the world, if you will. And I suppose in amongst all of that is also how, as an alchemist, you stand very differently in the waves and tsunamis and bursts of I'm talking about energetically and emotionally and the way we perceive the world, how you stand in the fray of things, and how you then source the new possibilities, the new world reality, the best for us all when there's so much stuff going on in the world. So I want to kind of cover all of this in a single video, so I'll try not to make it too long, and we'll see how we do with this. So, okay. So let me start by, what does the quantum field have to do with it? Well, I think when I was a little bit earlier on, this was around 2012, I started to work on unleashing genius and really discover that genius exists in the, let's call it the quantum field, the field that holds the new possibilities of us, the ideas, the innovations, the genius, the mastery, the solutions that we haven't yet got in our own sense of understanding or consciousness at this time. So, so accessing the quantum field is quite extraordinary, actually. It's a way of, oh gosh, coming into a relationship with that which isn't yet. And the quantum field is like a landscape, a garden of possibilities and ideas and innovation and the new dreaming of us. You could say it's a matrix, it's a field of consciousness, it's something, it's just where what isn't yet is waiting for us to find our way with it all, to bring it into reality. And what I began to discover as an alchemist is that when I was doing those things, when I was working in those fields of possibilities, that I found that standing in the fray of life, in the things that would trouble you or give you angst or despair about how life is going on, that when I could stand in the space of bringing through what wants to happen. Now, you could say as a greater purpose for us all, but I think it's even a little bit beyond greater purpose. Yes, it includes that, but it's like a new dreaming of us, a new possibility of us that exists. It's what we want, what wants to become of us and the world and the universe. And when you become an agent, an activator, an actualizer of those new possibilities of us, it gives you great energy, great hope, I guess you could say, but it's much more than hope. It gives you a sense of knowing that this is all going to turn out brilliantly. And it also gives you the ability, the capacity, the talent, the genius to be able to facilitate or source, I think is a good word, the turning out of it towards those ends. So I wrote earlier this week that it really helps to believe that everything is always turning out towards an optimal or miraculous outcome, because believing it gives you access to some of the abilities to help make that happen. Not believing it, I don't think opens the doorway to that in the same way. So it really does help to believe that, you could say. Okay, so when you're working as an alchemist, you're really becoming the all. You're becoming life, right from the source of all life. You're becoming the universe, the source, creator, dreamer, etc. It's where you supersede, as I've mentioned in earlier videos, you supersede yourself and you become the all. That's why I call it alchemist with 2 L's. Because you literally become the all. You become the quantum field. And that's what I wanted to say about what's the quantum field got to do with it. Yes, it's a landscape, a playground where the newness, the possibilities of us await us. But also, you can pull a possibility out of it as you actualize it. But when you become the quantum field, when you become the all, you have great more scope, knowing, mastery, capacity, ability, energy, life power fuels through you to be able to activate and actualize something far, far greater and grander. And it lets you as well be the all in terms of the world or the universe, receiving that and flooding it through the matrix of reality. So I wrote a post just before this that's on my timeline. I was talking about, as an alchemy, how we do some of these things. So we activate quantum possibilities. We innovate consciousness breakthroughs, that things that haven't been understood or known before, that aren't in our current known consciousness. We activate and innovate consciousness breakthroughs. We remake the global reality matrix. We elevate the vibrational frequency of the whole world, of the planet, of the earth, of people, of humans, of life, of oceans, of forests, we accelerate the miraculousness of the earth and nature and the universe. And we source a new sense of collectiveness where it's not just us, even as what I call miraculous maestros or alchemists, but also the whales and the oceans and the forests and the stars and the universe and the galaxies and the conscious, sentient, infinite intelligence of all life. And we've been sourcing a new collectiveness for that. And then we pour all of that into reality, into the matrix of existing reality and consciousness. We embed it into our physicality, so we live it in templates in our lives, so we can see, oh, this is how it's showing up in reality. And this month, in June 2022, I've seen it show up throughout the UK, which has been extraordinary. We've had the 4 days of Jubilee, we've had the solstice gatherings on the 21st, all over the UK. We've had the 4 days of the Glastonbury Festival, which was just jubilant, collective celebration of music, art, creativity, celebrating soil and natural ways to help the earth. The Greenpeace was a part of it, etc. It was just so wonderful to see a whole nation showing up for all month in what I would call the new possibility of us, connected and in joy and jubilation and celebration and loving life and being great with one another. I saw no dissension. I saw no, it was full of unity and diversity and inclusion and acceptance and colorfulness. Oh, it was just brilliant to be part of this past month, and long may it continue for the whole world. I know it's not that way everywhere today. I really do get that, and I have a real compassionate response to that. But in my compassionate response to it is also a super calling to get to work as an alchemist, to source the new through whatever is happening. And that helps me stay out of what I call the abyss, when you drop down into all the angst. And it just soars me into a life-powered exhilaration state of being able to source the new possibilities for the world. So that's what the quantum field has to do with it. That's how I and many of my miraculous maestros buddies, that's how we respond to what's going on in the world and how we're continuously using that as callings to remake and refashion it. So let me talk then for a bit about collaborative alchemy, because earlier in the previous two videos I was talking about how we individually get to that state. But collaborative alchemy is near and dear to my heart. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's just incredible. So what I want to talk about with that is kind of how we do this as collaborative maestros. So I source a group called Miraculous Maestros, and we do calls 6 times a month. And they're not calls that I lead. I facilitate, but we are equal, co-creational, collaborative maestros, alchemists, all. Each one with a unique source of how they work, where they work, what their greater work is to do now. And so when we come together, there's no directionality. Sometimes we talk about what's been going on that week, and then we tune in and we feel what's calling us. And we align all together for the biggest breakthroughs, the biggest insights, the greatest movement for the world. And it's wonderful because there's never a moment of dissension or of conflict or of disagreement. We get along brilliantly. We honor and respect each other's magnificent, unique mastery. And that flows together in that space so brilliantly that it creates what I call collaborative genius fusion or kaleidoscopic creation. So it's like a kaleidoscopic picture falling together. This mastery, that mastery, they're working on this, and it just goes into one big giant picture. And I just absolutely love it. And I think this can be used practically in any instance of a group working in the world. And I think if you're the person who's facilitating sourcing that, then one, you want to align everybody to the greatest outcomes. And you want to have them connect with one another. And in any way they want to do that, they can just close their eyes and feel it. They can look around and, see each person as magnificent, whatever works. There are many ways to it. And then you just want to have each person unleash into their greatest calling, their biggest work, whatever is calling them now. You don't direct the flow of that, because if you did, that's you doing what you see to do. So what I do as a facilitator, once we burst that into exhilarated co-creational play, then one of my talents is to see what's unfolding. And so in the calls, then each one shares what they were doing, what they were getting as we do this. And then we can see as each one's sharing, oh, there's the picture unfolding, and then we'll do it again and take it further, and then we'll do it again and take it further until by the end of an hour's call, we've brought a new breakthrough through, and we have a conscious understanding of it. We're integrating it in ourselves. We're sourcing it and gifting it into the world. We're uplifting and elevating life with whatever that is. So it's kind of like us in partnership with and as the universe, with and as the quantum field of possibilities, with and as our collective, collaborative mastery as alchemists. And it's really so exciting when we do that, and it's just an amazing way to live. I mean, really, it's so fulfilling. It's just amazing to me that life can be that brilliant, that breathtaking even. And what happens is that the more that we operate as this, the more we fall wildly, breathtakingly in love with life, in love with the earth, in love with animals and insects and birds and oceans and forests and trees and bees and whales and dolphins and name it, stars in the sky and people. You know, that instead of walking around and seeing this and that, and we see magnificence and beauty and potential and possibility, and we know how to help to call that into presence, into being, into life here on earth. So, there you go. If you would like to know more about this, if you would like to become an alchemist, I would love to show you more about it. So next week, starting on July 4th, I'm sourcing a quantum alchemy series for July. Alchemy 201. This week has been Alchemy 101, kind of an introduction to it all. So we're going to do Alchemy 201 next month with 2 Zoom calls and regular weekly videos. And then in August we go into an advanced series, Alchemy 301, which is about doing the big work all together. And there are 4 Zoom calls and weekly videos about that. So if you'd love to join me in that, you can go to my soleragreen.com website and go under courses and choose the alchemy button, and you'll see it there. So I hope you'll join me, because I think the world has already turned into and towards the new, and the old is fighting hard to hang on. But I think we've already got it. We've already put the world into that state. I believe that. And this is a way of being a powerful, collaborative co-creator of a new and brilliant world with possibilities and miraculous outcomes and new innovative solutions that have never been considered before. And as an alchemist, you can bring those through and make them real in the world. So I want to see more and more alchemists in the world. Turning this out, sourcing it brilliantly all together, and showing the world just how exactly it can be done in a brand new way. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for joining me throughout the week. If you've seen all these videos, it's been wonderful doing this with you. Thanks.